Okay, so this is the meeting of the Town of Stensville Police Commission to review and certify Mac Sosa as the town's new police chief. So with that, I would open the meeting up for any questions that any of the commissioners would have for Mac at this time. Any questions? Go ahead.
When are you planning on starting to work?
Actually, that's something that I was hoping to discuss with the mayor after the meeting. I know it's been mentioned possibly by the end of April. So I was hoping that possibly between the end of April and the middle of May.
So yeah, we are kind of still in flux in terms of determining an exact start date, largely because of housing and his move here to Montana. So in accommodating all those things, we've kept the transition plan loose and flexible to accommodate, a week or two difference in date ranges. So yeah, I think end of April to middle of May is kind of our target to have him fully up to speed. Yeah.
Mr. Sosa, is there any licensing requirements that you need to complete before you're certified to do police work in Montana, or is everything current and up to date or fulfilled that needs to be required?
My understanding is I need to hold a Montana driver's license before I even take the position.
Okay.
Once that's done, then the time starts when I accept the position, and I would have to complete a 13-week modified training academy. Any officers transitioning from out of state.
Right.
But
Okay.
I've made an attempt to contact the licensing agency for the state, and because of COVID, I believe there's some lack in communication right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Listen,
To that point, so the full academy is 13 weeks. As we understand it from Post in Helena, you should only have to take a week equivalency because your equivalency should transfer from Texas.
okay.
So you should only have to take a week equivalency and then a week-long DUI course from Montana. So at best, we're looking at 2 weeks in Helena versus the full 13-week academy.
Okay.
Any other questions from the commission? Has everybody seen the resume? And
Yes.
all that?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to compliment Mr. Sosa on his writing skills. They were quite well done in your packet, your letters of application, and letters of resume and everything. I think your writing skills are one of the strongest that we've seen in acquiring or attempting to acquire positions with Stevensville. So anyway, kudos on
Thank
that.
you.
Yep.
So I would have a question. So do you think coming to take this position is going to fulfill your wants and needs and desires? I mean, you're coming from a major metropolitan into, very rural western Montana. I understand that you do have family in the area and all that part of it, but I mean, it's going to be a big change. I think. And how do you see yourself fitting into that?
Well, my law enforcement career started over 30 years ago, so I've seen several changes over those 30 years. I mean, when I first was hired as a police officer, we were all issued revolvers. Nobody carries a revolver anymore. 1 out of 10 officers was carrying a shotgun. Now it's a standard for everyone to have an automatic weapon, everyone to have an AR-15, and everyone to have a shotgun. That's just the changes that we've seen over time. Now, as far as how my transition will be. I've been involved in community policing over the 30 years of my career. And community policing has taken on various different names. Neighborhood oriented policing, community policing. And the newest one that I've heard that I like the best is relationship policing. And I believe that relationship policing is the best one because you have to build a relationship with the community members in order to fulfill their needs and their wants. I think when you reach out to the community, what we find is that everybody has a story to tell and everybody wants to be heard. They just need somebody to listen to them. And I'm hoping to be that person to be able to listen to their needs and fulfill their needs and be able to bring my experience and my knowledge to the officers that are here to build them into the officers that they want to become and hopefully help with retaining the officers that we have because I understand that that's been an issue in the past. So I think my focus would be community policing, developing, mentoring the officers that are here, and hopefully by the time I'm ready to leave, we'll have someone within the department that can step up to the plate and take this position so you won't have to do such an extensive search as you did this time.
So this is kind of maybe a loaded question or a hard to answer question, but how long do you think or feel your term as chief would be in Sealsville?
I think I still have 12 to 14 years left in it. I could see myself doing that, being in that position for that period of time, or until the citizens and the town leadership want me to stay.
You are coming from a huge metropolitan area to a small town of 2,100 people. Kind of building on what Jeff was asking. How do you feel the transition? Are you going to be, very underwhelmed? Again, coming from millions of people to a couple thousand.
I honestly don't think that I will. When you're policing in a large metropolitan city, when you're assigned to a policing area, it's all broken down into smaller pieces. So when, like in Houston, when you're a police officer in Houston, you're assigned to a police station, and the police station is broken down into districts, and each district is broken down into a beat. So when you're assigned to a beat, the reality is that you're assigned to a small area to fulfill the needs of the community members of that small area. So I think that's going to transition to this. And I mean, policing isn't just about fighting crime and putting people in jail. It's about solving problems that the community has and meeting the needs of the community. So, I mean, I think that's going to transition well.
Mike, any other questions? Comments?
Not at present. It just maybe a point of awareness. It seems that in our community, communication with one person or one family ends up, because of the smallness and the relational qualities of the community, you're usually interacting with a family, a group, regardless of your interactions, and just to be aware of that. That's all I would add.
So from this juncture, or I guess the most recent update I have for the commissioners is that, part of this process included the psychiatric and background investigation. Those pieces were completed prior to getting this meeting agendized. In addition to that, he had to successfully undergo a medical screening as well for medical fitness. And that was completed yesterday. So we're like second to last stage. Upon your certification, then we'll take the candidate to the town council for consent of the appointment.
So, I would entertain a motion as to what your guys' desires would be, as far as Mac is concerned, Mr. Sosa is concerned.
I make a motion to certify Police Chief Mac Sosa as the Stevensville Police Chief.
So motion is made to go ahead and certify the hiring of Mr. Sosa. In a second,
I'll second that.
okay? Any other questions or discussion? Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That would be a unanimous consent of the board to go ahead and hire Mac as our new police chief.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate your indulgence.
Okay, so is there any other business the commission needs to do while we're here?
No, sir, there's no other appointments to bring forward for certification, so I think you're free to adjourn.
I'll go ahead and then adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all for your time.
Take care, Mike.